Hello, welcome to Just Less Creations. I am Leslie. I am the owner and creator of Lots of Things Cake Pop. So I am here today. We are going to start a series on summer fruits, and today we're going to work on a strawberry. I love strawberries in the spring. I can't wait. I love strawberry shortcake. I love anything strawberries. I like to eat them right out of the garden, strawberries. So today we're going to work on making a cake pop that looks like a strawberry. So won't you join me? First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our cake pop dough. If you want to see how to make a cake pop dough, please refer to the video on the making of cake pop dough, and we'll put the link later in the comments. So we're going to do, let's do 3 of them. We're just going to prep our cake pop dough. And I am just using a normal cookie scoop. And one more. Okay. Let's go ahead and roll our ball. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get those air bubbles out of there. We're going to roll in our natural way that we would normally roll. Left-handers would go one way, right-handers sometimes will go a different way. So right now we're just going to roll in the natural way that we normally roll, and I'm going to push. I'm going to get those air bubbles out, and you'll feel when it comes together. All right, and then we're going to roll backwards, and that'll make a nice round ball. Now we're going to make a strawberry today. So we've got our nice round ball. So we're going to make kind of like a teardrop shape. So I'm going to just, at the bottom point, I'm going to make a rounded point there. Like so. I'm just going to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. And then at the top, oh, I don't have the ball tool. I'm going to take my ball tool and I'm just going to put an indent. That's going to be where my stem comes from. And I'm just going to roll it around there and smooth it down. Oh, I got fondant on there, black fondant. All right, just like that. So let's go ahead and do that for the other 2. At this point, we're going to go ahead and stir our chocolate. We're going to go ahead and put the stick in the chocolate, or the stick in the cake pop. I already have my lollipop sticks. They are already dipped in our chocolate about 1 inch. If you want to know more about why I do that, please refer to the method of double dipping sticks and why I do it. Right, so I'm going to actually do, I'm going to put a cake pop stick, or the lollipop stick, on the bottom, on one, and then I'm going to do 2 at an angle, just so you can see the difference. The first one, I don't have to worry about gravity, because I'm going to do it directly from the bottom. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to dip just the tip of my cake pop stick in the chocolate, tap it off, and I'm going to go right up through the bottom, and I'm going to spin it clockwise until I feel it catching, and then I'm going to spin it a half a turn back to make sure it stays in that form, and then I'm just going to smooth that back out to that teardrop shape. Fingers off. And I'm just going to smooth that around the bottom like that, and then we're going to sit it on our tray and let that firm up. Okay, this one here I'm going to put the strawberry on its side. Now, because it's really big on one side and it's narrower on the other side, we've got to look at the center of gravity. If we put it too far to the front, the weight of the back end is going to cause that cake pop to fall off. And if we put it too far to the back, well then all the weight's on the front and it'll actually fall off and the stick will fall out on the back end. So we got to make sure that when we're looking at it, we're going to try to disperse the weight evenly on both sides of the lollipop stick. So I'm actually going to put it right in the center at the bottom and angle it towards the top corner. So again, I'm going to push it in and spin it clockwise till I feel it catch. And then I'm going to turn it a half a turn backwards to kind of lock that in place. All right, and then I'm just going to roll my finger around that and take some of that excess chocolate off. And we're going to put it over here to let it firm up. And we're going to do that with the last one. Tap that off just a little bit. Again, I'm going to put it in at an angle, starting in the center, going towards the top corner. Spin it just a little bit. There, it got nice and tight, and now I'm going to roll it half a turn back. I was squeezing on that one, so I got to flatten out my finger marks. Right, and then I'm just going to take that excess off the bottom. Oops, I pulled the cake pop dough. Let's smooth that back out. It happens. All right. We're good as new. Let's go ahead and put this over here and let it firm up. And while we wait for that to firm up, we're going to go ahead and make the stem and the leaf that we will need for that. All right, in order to, let's move this chocolate out of the way. In order to do the stem, we're going to need our little extruder. I already have some brown in my extruder. We're just going to roll out just a little piece. Yeah, that'll work. Let me take my little knife. Excuse me. All right, so it's kind of fat for strawberry stem, so I'm just going to take this and then just roll it out nice and thin. I use the extruder because it's a nice even amount that comes out and I can control it better. Okay, and I'll just cut that piece off and that becomes our stem. Put it aside, and now we're going to go ahead and make the leaf. I'm just using a flower cutter, but it works perfectly for the leaf for our strawberry. Just need a little bit of cornstarch on my fingers so I can, my fingers won't stick or make the chocolate melt. Just going to roll it out just a little bit, and we're going to put it through the KitchenAid pasta maker. It's actually the big long noodle pasta, not the fettuccine or the spaghetti one, but the single solid one. I'm using that as for my modeling chocolate. It works beautifully. And then we're just going to run it through like so. And now it's nice and even. I'm going to take my cookie cutter and I'm just going to cut a couple of these out. Maybe. Pop that out. Do 2 more because we have 3 strawberries. 1, 2, and 3. Make sure, oops, make sure it doesn't stick in the inside of the cutter. All right, here we have 3. We're done with this for now. Okay, we need our former board. This is just a foam board that we use. It helps to be able to press down on the chocolate and give it a little bit of flexibility as we flatten it. So all I'm going to do is just kind of soften out those ends so it's not so firm and rigid. I just want to flatten the ends of the leaf. Like so. And the center can stay the larger portion of the chocolate. We don't need to flatten that in any way. Okay, and the last one. Alright, and just right in the center, because I'm going to put a stem in there, I just want to give it a little spot that I can put that stem into, like so. Alright, now we have our 3. We'll go ahead and put it here on the table. Alright, let's stir our chocolate. I'm going to go ahead and try it. My chocolate was a little bit thick, so I did add probably a teaspoon of Crisco shortening. Let's move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just gently stirring to mix in the last of the Crisco shortening that hasn't completely melted yet. Alright, so we're going to use some nonpareils for the seeds on the outside of our strawberries. So I've got container of Sweet Tooth Fairy nonpareils. They're white, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a bowl inside of a little tray so I can capture the ones so they're not rolling all over the place. We can give our chocolate another stir here. All right, let's go ahead and try the first one. Just tapping off the excess chocolate. You see I've got a couple air bubbles in here that I need to take care of. It's important that you get all those air bubbles out of your chocolate, because an air pocket that pops will give exposure to oxygen to your cake pop. And that creates a spot where bacteria can begin to grow, and you don't want your customers to get sick off of your cake pops because you did not make sure that your cake pop dough was completely covered with chocolate because an air bubble popped. Alright, let's go ahead and take that excess off the bottom. Alright, at this point, I'm just going to take a few from high up and drop, and that becomes my seeds. Try to put them spaced. They don't need to be a whole lot on there, just enough to let your people know that these are seeds all over. One more right there. Missed it. Okay, that's all we're going to do right there. And then we're going to take, while it's still wet, we're going to drop this right in the middle, like so. Okay, we'll set it over here and let it firm up. Let's do our next strawberry. This one's at an angle, so I'm going to put it in at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to spin it the whole way around until the chocolate meets the chocolate as I'm pulling back on it to make sure it gets all the way back to the stick. We give our chocolate just another stir, just around the bottom edge. Okay, I'm going to push it in at a 45, pull it back towards me and spin it just till the chocolate hits chocolate, and then I'm going to shake it off. Okay, I'm going to look for those air bubbles. I'm going to pop those air bubbles. if you'll notice, when I'm shaking the cake pops, first of all, I'm not tapping it on the pan. And that's because I don't refrigerate my cake pops. And they are on there, on a stick, and they're nice and firm. But if I tapped it, it's really going to put a nice jarring on the cake pop. And if your cake pop stick is in there loosely at all, it will cause it to shift. And then you run the risk of having it fall off. So all I'm doing is gently like shaking it up and down, but I'm also holding it really close to the cake pop. I'm not holding it at the end of my stick, and that's because I can control the pressure, the amount of pressure that I'm using when I'm shaking it, because I don't want it to fall off my stick. If I was holding it back at the end, it's got a lot of bounce to it, which will also create that cake pop, the chocolate on the inside of your cake pop to break loose and fall off. So I always hold it close to the cake pop when I'm shaking. All right, so let's take off the last of that chocolate on the bottom. Nice and clean on the bottom. Again, I'm going to use these nonpareils. And we'll take the last leaf, we'll put it on there like so, and then we're going to let that sit over. Oh, I forgot to take the chocolate off the bottom. Smooth that up a little bit, and there we go. So now we have 3 strawberries. 3 strawberries. You got to firm up yet, and then we're going to put a stem on them. Alright, so now we're going to attach our stem to the back of the leaf. And what I have in here is just a piping bag and some green candy wafers. I just popped it in the microwave to soften it up. So it's really warm here and it's not so warm. I'm just mixing it up so it's all evenly melted inside my bag, holding the tip so it doesn't go flying out the end as I'm mixing it. So it's nice and melted, and all I'm going to do is just take a little tiny bit right in that divot, like so. And then I'm going to take my stem and push it down in there, like so. And that's it. My stem is on there. Oh, gotta wait till that chocolate firms up a little bit. That might take a second. Meanwhile, drop another one here because that's already standing upright. And we'll drop another one in here, like so. That'll stand on its own. All right, I think we're good with that one. And let's do the last one. We'll drop in there, take our stem, pop it in there and hold it still for a minute. And voila, our strawberries are done, just like that. So thank you for joining me on this strawberry build, so you can go out and do it yourself. It was super easy. If you need to stop, rewind, go go back, do it again, do it with me. And I know you can do this. You guys can make strawberries part of our summer fruit series. So until next time, happy cake popping. See ya.